Hey guys, welcome to another video in my rare slash collectible PS3 game series. And what do you call it? I guess first of all, I'll give you guys kind of like a general format, I think, for my videos. So in the beginning, I'm just gonna, give maybe like a little update on like whatever things that go on, either with collecting or something relevant in my life. And yeah, I'll do that first, and then I'll get on to reviewing things, and then yeah, we'll just do that. All right. So first of all, I apologize, guys, for not making the video on Saturday or Sunday as I promised, but school just started for me once again, and I have about a year left. And what do you call it? Some of my friends also came over all the way from SoCal just for the weekend. And so, of course, like I had to show them around. And oh my God, like, I guess I'm not so young. And, like when you're young and you're in your like freshman, sophomore college years, like you can slam a handle pretty hard. But oh my God. Yeah, so back then when I tried to drink a lot, like when, my friend and I would go like shot for shot or whatever silly thing. I was able to pull around 8 seconds on a handle, and I'd feel relatively fine. But oh my God, I tried it this weekend, like 1 or 2 seconds, and I already feel like gagging. So I guess my body's not meant for any of that anymore. But anyway, what do you call it? I'm gonna try something new today. So in the beginning, I'll just talk in front of my bookcase, kind of classic style. And then I'll kind of move on to the TV right there, and then review the game in front of like the game trailers, so you guys have like a little more things to see. The video's more stable and whatnot. But yeah, I'll get right onto it. All right, so we got that set up. First thing, disclaimer as always, in the end, it is my opinion on what games might be rare or collectible down the road. And I might sometimes mix up terminology between rare, collectible, uncommon, potentially valuable in the future, all that jazz. And also, my opinion, it's based on, me checking out a bunch of game stores, around 25 at this point. Always being into games as well, and knowing background about the games, hearing reviews, watching reviews. I'm constantly on eBay, usually on Craigslist, and stuff like that. Alright, so now that we got that cleared, the first game, I already talked about this in my very first YouTube video, Ghostbusters. But what's really interesting about this game is, I check on it periodically, and wow, actually, what do you call it? Sorry, I am just having a total brain fart. But basically, this game, I noticed that I checked the graph on price chart, and it's just been increasing pretty much on a weekly basis. Like, I would say at this point, loose or complete copies run anywhere from like 25 to nowadays almost even $40, and I think, if you want this game for at least somewhat of a reasonable price, I feel like, it should be picking up ASAP. But, that's just my opinion. Alright, and now I'll just start the gameplay trailers and then, talk about the games in front of them. Alright. And so, the first game, this is a Dungeon Siege 3. When I first picked it up, I picked it up in a bundle. I didn't really think too much about it at the time, but it's published by Square Enix, and the gameplay is kind of similar, or it's a similar type of game to like the Dragon Age games, or kind of Diablo 2, as in Diablo as well, not Diablo 2, although it is similar. But yeah, like basically with this game, in terms of like how the game is like, you basically get to choose from 4 different characters. And it has RPG elements and stuff like that, and you pretty much just go through the game. And honestly, I'm not sure if this game will be that valuable down the road, but it's published by Square Enix, and at least from the majority of Square Enix games, other than maybe like Deus Ex, which is super common and super popular, I feel like they're usually collectible. Like I believe Nier might have been a Square Enix publish, Kingdom Hearts, Square Enix, and I'm sure a few others as well. And I also checked around GameStop, at least on their website, and in my area, there's only like 3 or 4 with a copy of this game, and I think it runs for around $5 at GameStop, and around the same online, or up to maybe $8. So it's still not expensive, and I pick it up. If you guys, really like Diablo or like, Dragon Age games, then you might enjoy this as well. All right. And so this next one, this trailer for this is Legends of War Patton, and it's published by Maximum Games. I actually kind of saw the History Channel games for the first time in, Collector Fanatic 101's video, and personally, I do really love history, like in general, but, History Channel kind of struck at my heart with their aliens and like whatever mysteries videos. Like I was only a little kid when I like watched that, like when it first came out. And so, like I thought, of course some of it is not scientifically provable and it's like hypothetical, but like knowing that it was basically complete horse crap kind of turned me off to History Channel. But anyway, this game is fairly historically accurate, and you basically play as General Patton, and you're like leading your squad, and you start at I believe France, and you land at France, and then you work yourself you work your way up all the way to Berlin. And it's a turn-based strategy game, and it's actually fairly historically accurate from what I know. And yeah, in terms of the price, I paid, I believe, like $8.99 for this game. And at least on eBay, this game trends anywhere from like $8.99 to maybe like $16. So if you find a History Channel related game in like a mom and pop shop or GameStop, or for fairly cheap in general, I'd like definitely pick it up. All right, and next one is Lair. Sorry, I'll load that up. All right, next one's Lair. This game's a very interesting game. It's published by Sony itself, and it's an original PS3 game. As you can see, the label here, label there, PlayStation embossed on top right there. And this game is actually a very, very early game in the PS3 life cycle. I believe it was published around 2007, so it's only 1 year after the release, so it's a very new game. And at the time, and even now, the story is actually pretty good on this game. Like I heard that it's fairly solid, and the graphics are actually quite amazing. Like you could see emotions in the characters' eyes, and like the water, like especially the water, like that looks really pretty. And and the biggest, like, I guess, problem that a lot of people had with this game was the fact that it only used the 6-axis controller to control the dragons. So it kind of make, the gameplay very, like, inaccurate. Like, I've kind of experienced that with Ratchet and Clank, so I just turned it off. And I usually just do that. So yeah, a lot of people pretty much could not enjoy it because of the controls. But in terms of, the story, the graphics, soundtrack, they're all really solid. And they recently, or not recently, but after they released this game, they also re-released not a copy of this game, but they released a patch to pretty much let you use your analogs to control it. And it's a really cool game. As you can see right here, basically you fly, you're like these soldiers, these sky soldiers in Asalia or something like that. And then you're fighting these guys called Morkais or something like that. Sorry, I don't exactly remember the names. But yeah, you're fighting these evil guys. You're technologically more advanced. The Morkais are more primitive. And you fly around with your dragon, and you pretty much attack things a lot. And there's a lot going on. Like, a lot of it kind of does remind me of Rome Total War, where, you would see a bunch of units, like, just crawling around on the floor, and, like, it's just so large scale, and you actually get to participate in that, like dive in, destroy those armies, destroy other dragons, and overall it seems like a really cool game. And this game's only $1 if you find it at GameStop, and as for eBay, it runs anywhere from like $5, maybe $7, so fairly cheap game, and I feel like this might be a collectible game. All right, and the next one, this is the Lego Movie video game. This is super common. Like, you can still find it in like almost every single game store you go to, but I think it'll be at least collectible in my opinion. It's, I think, worth around $10. Yeah, and the movie, first of all, was really amazing. Like, it was a very well made movie. Like, reminded me of, you know, my times with Legos. I guess I'll just do like a quick, like, you know, story. Like, at least with Legos, for me, I would say, a pretty crazy bond with Legos. Like, I remember when I was like 6 or 7 or 5, one of those years, for Christmas, I got this gigantic Lego set that had castles and whatnot. And oh man, the second I saw that, I worked on it all night, and like straight up to like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning as a little kid, just because I loved it so much. And another background about me is, you know, I'm an only child, so like, you know, of course I'd invite my friends, but when they weren't there and I was bored, like, Legos was what I went to do whatever I wanted, you know, like whatever I imagined I would make through Legos and stuff like that. And yeah, and I probably spent thousands of hours on Legos as a kid, and yeah, I just really love Legos. But yeah, anyway, this is the Lego Movie video game, and unlike most like movie video games, this is actually a pretty good game. Like, it follows the storyline of the actual movie somewhat well, and like actually fairly well. And I actually heard that there's a lot more like Lego elements where everything is made of Lego, so when you break anything, it just bursts. Unlike, you know, the Marvel games where there are certain structures where you just can't really break it at all. And there's also, you know, Lego building elements a lot more than most of like the similar Lego games. And it's actually, like, from what I see, it seems like a really fun game, and it got fairly high ratings, so I feel like it'd be collectible down the road. Alright, and next one. This one is Majin and the Forsaken Kingdom. And this game, I picked up on eBay for around $11.99, and the only time I've seen a copy of this game was at one CEX that actually had 2 copies, so it's a fairly hard game to find in the wild in my opinion, and runs for around $14.99 on eBay, I believe. And yeah, this game didn't really get much attention at all when it came out. Mainly because I think a lot of, you know, other bigger titles were released, so it kind of got shoved under the rug. But yeah, I kind of wanted this game from the get-go when I didn't even know anything, because you know, I love niche games, and the second I saw this cover and, like, you know, the graphics on the back, like, it seemed like, you know, one of those niche games. And I guess as like a review for this, like, I heard, you know, it's like similar to like Zelda or like Ico Shadow of the Colossus in a way, in terms of like gameplay, and, you know, there's a lot of like puzzle based stuff and action and whatnot. And I actually heard a story, I'll deal with the story later, but like visually it's actually very beautiful, very well designed, and, you know, the story is very simple, kind of like that, like, you know, that classic like kid story message about like friendship and, like, you know, stuff like that. And basically the premise of this game is you're this one thief, and this world is under attack from like these things called darkness. And then there's this one ancient beast called Majin, who in the beginning is very weak, but you know, you go on this quest to find him this fruit that makes him very strong so that he could save the kingdom. And I heard, you know, some of the voice acting is pretty bad. Like, for the main guy, like, it's good, but, you know, for the giant, I heard it's like almost so basic that you get frustrated because you have to hear it all the time, you know. And, you know, for the animals, it's like, it's almost cringeworthy watching it and seems almost unprofessional. But overall, I feel like it's one of those, you know, very lighthearted with a good message, kind of quirky, somewhat niche game. And yeah, I'd pick it up if you can find it for anywhere from 15 or less, in my opinion. Alright. And the next one, this is Megamind. It's published by THQ. I think THQ ran out of business after they made the U-Draw tablets, and they significantly miscalculated like how well it'll do, so I don't think they're making games anymore, but THQ is known for making a lot of these like cartoon games or like animated movie games. And you know, this game is made by DreamWorks, and they made Megamind, and Megamind overall was a great movie, but what I hear about this game is that it's pretty bad. It's really boring. It's one of those terribly made movie games, but in GameStop it runs for around $4.99, I'd say, and in CEX it was like $3.50. But what's interesting is when I originally wasn't collecting, I posted my GameStop copy for, I believe, like around $8, and it sold in like a few weeks. So I feel like, you know, these THQ games are at least somewhat collectible, just because, you know, as a company they're probably not going to make games anymore. And on top of that, a lot of the games they do make is of really popular movies. So yeah, that's that. And I'd pick it up if you just find it in the wild, you know, at a GameStop for like $5 or something. But yeah. Alright, and this one I'll just quickly talk about. It's not really rare collectible. It's only like $8 if you want to find it. And I just really love the Monster Hunter games. Sadly, they didn't release any new PS3, you know, Monster Hunter games. And this game is really fun because, well, I did play it a bit, and I pretty much had to watch like a YouTube walkthrough of some other guy playing it, and I played alongside him so that I can understand, you know, all that Japanese characters and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of frustrating in that way, but yeah, I really loved Monster Hunter. Like for the PSP, I probably spent hundreds of hours on that game, and I had like two like 3-inch binders full of information, like on like which parts of the monster are weak, you know, like item combination, like what makes what, like tips on, you know, how to kill the bosses, and like yeah, it was one game that I would say was my second most played of all time. So if you guys love this, then I definitely pick it up. And I believe if you hack your PS3, you can get some English sub on it, but you know, I don't really want to do that right now. Did it for the PSP, but yeah, it's just a lot of work. So yeah, but yeah, if you you know, love Monster Hunter, kind of got to get the Japanese version because it's the only one out there. All right, so for the next one, this is Mugen Souls. I kind of cover this a tiny bit in my what do you call it? In my pickups video, and this game is published by NIS. As I mentioned in a lot of my videos, NIS games tend to be collectible, and I've only personally played the Bleach game, and I thought it was fairly good. You know, for someone who doesn't like Bleach, I don't think would think it's that great, but yeah, for someone who loves Bleach, it's a fantastic game. And this game, however, is pretty different. I've seen quite a number of reviews, and it seems like it's a turn-based RPG, but it's very, very strange. Like, it's kind of perverted, like, and it's like young girls, like young kids almost, so it's very, like, just weird. And it's a turn-based RPG, very, I wouldn't, you know, pick it up, or to play at least, if you're not really into turn-based RPGs, especially turn-based JRPGs. Cause yeah, and I heard like the gameplay overall, it's like somewhat all over the place. There are frame rate issues, but it's an NIS game and they're always collectibles. So yeah, I picked my copy up for around $10, I would say, at GameStop, and I believe it runs for around anywhere from like 15 to 17 on eBay. So if you find this for, I would say 10 or less, I'd definitely pick it up. Alright. This next one, not really valuable. I'm honestly not sure about its value whatsoever, mainly because there aren't too many listings on eBay, and I can't really check on price chart. But I found this at a GameStop for around like $250 or so, and it struck my eye because it's the Game of the Year edition, and I believe it was a Best Buy exclusive, so you know, you can't really buy from everywhere. And what's awesome about it is it includes a poster, which I really love, and I'd say it's very worth it if you can find it for $250 and you get the poster, the game, everything. But yeah, here, I'll show you the poster. Okay, so it pretty much has Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, and I believe Michael Jordan. And it's actually a pretty cool poster, so if you can find this game with the poster, I definitely pick it up, especially for around 250. Well, that about completes my series for, you know, these rare slash collectible videos. And this is actually my first take, so hopefully, you know, it's better than I think it might be right now. And well, as always, thanks for watching, guys. And if you guys have any comments or suggestions, leave it down in the comments below. And also tell me, you know, like, if you guys like this new format. Like, if you guys like it, I can, you know, keep doing it like this. Or if you guys like it in the old, you know, like classic style, like in front of my bookcase, then I can do that as well. So let me know, and thanks for watching, guys.